Hi there. In this lesson we're going to look at simplifying ratios. Firstly though, we're going to look at something you've seen already, which is simplifying fractions, because simplifying ratios is exactly the same as simplifying fractions. If you remember back to block 1, we did this. So I'm just going to quickly go over what you've seen before. So if you're trying to simplify a fraction, like the 2/4 at the side there, what you must remember to do is to divide the top and the bottom by the same thing. You can see here that 2 and 4 are both in the 2 times table, so we divide the top number by 2 to get 1, and we divide the bottom number by 2 to get 2. You must divide top and bottom by exactly the same number, and if you can't, then the fraction won't simplify. Another few examples here before we go into ratio. 9/12, they're both in the 3 times table, so you can divide the top by 3 and the bottom by 3 to get a simpler fraction, which is 3/4. And finally, a slightly more complicated one, 8/20. Now, you could divide by 2. You could notice that 8 and 20 are both even numbers, so divide by 2, which would give you 4/10. But you should notice at this point that you can then do that again. 4 and 10 are both in the 2 times table, so you could divide top and bottom by 2 again to get 2/5, which I've done over here. Now you could go directly to the answer by dividing by 4 to get right to the simplest fraction, or you could do dividing by 2 twice. But as long as you try and get the fraction or the ratio in a second to its simplest form, it doesn't matter really how many steps that you take. Okay, so let's have a look at the ratios that we're going to try and simplify. Again, we're going to use the same process as what we saw on the last screen. So in the first one here, you can see the ratio is 8 to 10. Both these numbers are in the 2 times table, so you can divide them both by 2. So a simpler ratio that means the same. If you divide the 8 by 2, you're going to get 4, and divide the 10 by 2, you're going to get 5. So it'll be 4/5. Okay, on to the next one. So we've got 12/15. Again, if we notice what times table they're both in the 3 times table. So we can divide both numbers by 3. So divide the first one by 3, that'll give you 4, and the second one by 3 will give you 4/5 again. The next one, these two numbers are both in the 7 times table. So divide the first by 7, you're going to get 2, and the next by 7, you're going to get 5. Okay, last one in the top line. If you look at both these numbers here, you can see that they both divide by 4. They're in the 4 times table. Now you need to be good at your times tables here to do this. If you're not and struggle with times table, this is quite a hard thing to do. So the first one divided by 4 is 3, 28 divided by 4 is... Okay, onto the bottom line. So we've got a ratio of 3 to 3, so they're both in the 3 times table. So divide them both by 3 and you get 1 to 1. Okay, this ratio is the first time we've seen the bigger number at the front, so just do exactly the same as before. So a ratio of 24 to 6, these numbers both divide by 6, so divide the 24 by 6 and you're going to get 4, the 6 divided by 6 will give you a 1, so it's 4 to 1. 15 to 9, they're both in the 3 times table, so that's going to be 5 to 3. And finally on the last one, there's several ways to do this. If you want to go directly to the answer, the biggest number that these both can divide by is 12. So if you divide them both by 12, you'll get 3 to 2. However, if you half the numbers first, and you notice they're both in the 2 times table, if you half this number, you would get 18, and then you would get 12, and then you could keep going to get as low as 3/2, or 3 to 2.